Another week is in the books. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, quite a bit of downs. We have a lot to criticize in this episode, but as always, the Mariners are still in it. It's not over till it's over, and we're fighting till game 162. We got plenty to talk about. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Garrett.
So, the Mariners falter, they mess up, mistake after mistake. Star players making boneheaded, dumb, selfish plays, not having their head in the game, not having any fight. And despite all of that, we're still winning enough that the playoffs are within reach.
The roller coaster continues. There's ups, there's downs, like you said. Hopefully we hit the loop-de-loop and come out of it exhilarated, but we'll see. I mean, we might come out of the end of this season just puking our guts out instead. Yeah.
I mean, I've said before in the last episodes, they're probably going to give us enough hope that it will go to game 162, and if the Mariners win, they make the playoffs and they blow it. I hope it doesn't happen, but I've lived through this scenario so many times, and that is on the trajectory that we're on right now.
All y'all fans are going through it with us. We've been doing it for our whole lives. I don't know about you guys. Obviously, your whole lives too. The Mariners are the only team that has not made it to the World Series ever, and we're still coming up flat at the end of the season. We don't build the team we need at the beginning of the season. We get too little too late at the deadline. They give us just enough. Like you're saying, Patrick, we've been saying it for weeks. You guys know. They give you just enough hope to continue. And then even when it seems like we're at an all-time low during the season, they still do something in the next few days that help you have some more faith. For some reason, we have this endless bag of hope that we keep pulling from, and somehow we think we're going to make the playoffs when it seems like we know the ultimate outcome is going to be coming up short by 1 or 2 games again. It's really how it feels, just being real honest about it. There is a chance of making the playoffs. We're only 1.5 games behind in the wild card because Minnesota didn't play today, so they play 2 games tomorrow. So after tomorrow, Sunday, the 22nd, we'll have a real look at where we are in the wild card standings.
Who does Minnesota play tomorrow?
Boston. Twice. Doubleheader.
Little Red Sox doubleheader. Go Sox.
Go Boston twice.
Let's go, Boston. Come on. We need you.
One thing that's also really bothering me about this end-of-the-year race is that we have to scoreboard watch so much. The Mariners are not in control of their own destiny because they have to keep winning. They're in control of that. But still, we have to make sure the Twins keep losing. We have to make sure the Tigers keep losing.
Where the heck did the Tigers come from?
Detroit.
Oh, the Motor City Kitties? Shit. I mean, seriously, though, they're 7-3 in their last 10. So is Seattle. They've scored more runs than the Mariners have scored this year. Surprise, surprise. The Mariners have given up, looks like 35 less runs than Detroit has. They're kind of in the same boat as we are. Not a huge run differential, but positive.
But they have the tiebreaker over us.
And so do the Twins.
That's why we're watching the scoreboard.
They do.
It's weird. It's not a head-to-head race. It's all over the place. And it's like, this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to happen, and we have to win games in order for us to make the playoffs.
Yeah. And none of it matters if the Mariners don't win.
That's right.
But the fact is they could win enough games, and they're still at a disadvantage for, the head-to-head matchups throughout the season, falling to the Twins, falling to the Tigers. And one of the issues with that, though, and this isn't a head-to-head matchup, but something that's really killed the Mariners this year is they're like 3-12 against the Angels. The last place Angels, they're absolute dog water. The Oakland A's have a better record than the Angels, and the Mariners played them so poorly throughout the year that the Angels could be one of the key reasons why the Mariners don't make the postseason, and just not beating up on teams that you should be beating up on.
It's our Achilles heel playing the Angels. It's always been tough to play the Angels for the Mariners, despite where they are in the standings. And like Patrick, you were saying, for the last 8 years, the Angels have had a losing record?
Yep. The Angels have not finished above 500 in the last 8 years.
But
they kicked the shit out of the Mariners all year this year.
They have a 62-93 record, a .400 winning percentage.
Fucking Mickey Moniac.
Yeah, Mickey goddamn Moniac. And it's always someone else, too.
Yeah.
It was Rengifo last year. It was obviously Trout and Ohtani before that. There's always someone on their team that's going to take the series into their own hands and beat the Mariners. And
It's not even the same reason all the time that we lose to the Angels. It's always changing. That sucks.
yeah,
always different.
Terrible. I feel cursed,
Fucking
man.
Mickey Moniac.
But the Mariners are 80-75 after Saturday night here. We took the series from the Rangers,
Going for a sweep.
which we needed to do. Going for the sweep tomorrow, yeah.
The Rangers got eliminated yesterday when we beat them.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Eliminated.
we should probably
Disqualified.
go all the way back.
Disqualified.
all the way back to last Sunday, right? When we were still playing the Rangers then.
Mm-hmm.
We had split the first two games, and we needed to win that series. The Mariners ended up winning that series, is what I'm trying to say. It started off well. Coming out of our last podcast, we're like, we have to win this series against the Rangers because the Yankees series is going to be super important after the day off Monday. So we took the series from the Rangers. That was good. We needed it. We seemed to have a little bit of momentum going into the Yankees series. We had the day off. We're at home. The first game of the Yankees series.
A lot of good that at home day off did us too.
Oh,
we
so
were
much
we were
good.
singing the praises. We're like, hey, at home rest day, that's huge for these guys because most of their rest days are a travel day or on the road, on the plane. They all got to hang out at their houses with their friends, with their family. That's really big, especially this late in the season. And we were hoping for big things coming that first Yankees game, and the Mariners proceeded to get just shit stomped. It was brutal. It was not fun.
Ooh, yeah, before that game, you were like, I'm taking diligent notes. I'm watching every pitch. Fourth inning comes around, and you're like, fuck this.
I was like, I'm going to go play Xbox because I'm not sitting through this anymore. And
What sucked, though, is Brian Wu last year dominated the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, right? He went in there and shit on those guys, honestly. Dragged his nuts across the mound, as they say. But I was hoping he'd do the same at home.
That's cool if
Yeah,
they do say that. I like that.
You get their nuts are so big that they have to drag them across the mound while they walk back to the dugout. And
Right.
They're just showing everyone.
Okay,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did that.
He did that last year, earlier this year. I don't know. Brian Wu's been dominant, but he got blown up by the Yankees at home. We lost that game 11-2, and there's not a lot to say except for the Yankees hit, man.
there is a couple things to say. I truly believe that the trajectory of the game was completely changed in the first inning. The Mariners were already down 2-0. Aaron Judge, 2 RBI double in the first inning. So bottom of the first, already in a hole. Yankees pitcher could not throw a strike. He was at 24 pitches, 9 strikes. He could not find the zone early in the game. Mariners have the bases loaded with 2 outs. Justin Turner is up, and it is a 3-0 count. And Victor Robles, who I absolutely love, we all like him on the pod. We've been singing his praises all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Did one of the most selfish and boneheaded plays I have ever seen. 3-0 count. And clearly he's not, their pitcher, Hill, is not about to hit the zone. He's all over the place. Robles decided to try and steal home, and he gets thrown out. Rally over. The count ends. I mean, it was just one of the stupidest plays I have ever seen.
Like a straight steal of home.
It was a straight steal. So what happened is catcher threw the ball back.
Yeah, Wells.
Yeah, the pitcher catches it. He has his back turned to the plate. He goes and grabs the rosin bag. He's playing with it. And if Robles had gone at that point with his back turned, he probably still would have made it. But he waited. He waited for their pitcher to turn around. Then he decides to break. Quick throw to home. Tag him out. And it doesn't even matter if he had went when the guy's back is turned. Situational baseball, you don't go in that situation. And Justin Turner was so pissed. And he had every right to be.
Rightfully so, man.
Yeah.
3-0 count. He's up there. He's doing it. He's like, I'm on base. It's a free run. They're gonna walk me in. Or walk Robles in.
Yep.
It's gonna be awesome. And then out of nowhere, the at bat is over.
Yep. At bat.
So he turns
over.
around like, well, fuck me, right?
Yeah.
So Robles is an electric player. He plays with a ton of energy. He has a huge baseball IQ, and he shows it. But is he trying to do too much and be a little too cute this last week or so? It seems like he's kind of getting too big for his britches and getting too comfortable here now.
Earlier in the game, he got plunked, and he tried to play it off like he wore it well or something, but I don't think he did.
Didn't get hit in the hand?
It wasn't the hand. It was
Ow.
the first pitch of the game. It was up and in.
Seemed pretty frustrated. I think he just wanted a little bit of revenge, just make the pitcher look stupid for what he did, and it was just the worst timing possible. So,
because you mentioned that, because we were texting about it, and you said that he wanted his revenge, and I was like, I get it, but in that count, in that situation, that is such a selfish move.
it is.
Yeah, I was just saying how he has a ton of baseball IQ, but I think he just got outside of himself. He's doing too much. It's too much ego-based stuff. He's too confident. It's like, okay, rein it in, bud. Like, we need you to be good, but not more than you are. You don't be more than you are. Just be a team player. Like, know the situation.
And that's the thing. We like his electricity. We like his theatrics, and we like that. He can go. He scored from second today on a wild pitch.
Yeah.
We like that kind of stuff.
Amazing.
But in that situation, it was the wrong move. It was so boneheaded, and it was so selfish. And yeah, actually, going off of what Garrett said, he got hit on the first pitch of the game, and the Yankees pitcher looked like he didn't give a shit. He didn't feel bad and stuff, which he doesn't have to, right? It doesn't have to be like kumbaya and stuff.
Yeah, his first pitch just got away from him. That's fine.
But it did look like he kind of threw high and tight, and it hit Robles in the hands, and he was just like, oh, well, whatever. And Robles goes out and gives him a hug. And he's like, oh, it's all good.
He gave him like a pat on the back, like a "it's all good, man" kind of thing.
Yeah, and I do not like that.
And Hill was like,
why even go out there?
okay.
Because Robles is a nice guy, I guess, but like
Maybe, I think he was just like adrenaline, I guess. Or I don't know, he gets hit on the hand, he's like jumping around doing like that's what I'm saying.
He was in a
like,
lot of pain,
kind of
too.
trying to
I'm
play it
sure.
off like he wore it well, but I think he was hurt pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so he's like, and instead of just like throwing a fit and like, I don't know, doing something drastic, he walked out there and was just like,
Yeah.
we're good, man. And Luis Hill's like, how about go to first base?
he did not care at all.
Yeah.
He didn't like hug him back. He didn't like dap him up. He was just like, okay.
I wouldn't either. I'd be trying to stay in the zone.
It was weird, yeah.
It was
If
weird.
my first pitch got away and I hit a batter, I'd just be like, fuck, all right. Next pitch, like guy on first. I don't think about how bad that guy's hurting. Like, I'm just trying to locate. I'm trying to stay in the zone, especially when your first pitch goes that way. Like, you're in your head and trying to stay focused rather than worry about what that guy's doing. I don't know. That's too much acting for me. And
I wanted to see a fight from this team, and for you to get plunked and to go out and like tell the pitcher it's okay when also the pitcher clearly doesn't care. He's not upset that he hit you. So why are you reassuring him?
it's the Yankees at your own stadium.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Robles really pissed me off. And actually that kind of ties in during the final game of the Rangers series. Randy Arozarena did his step out thing that he's notorious for. And I know Rick Riz rips on it a lot.
He is playing a mental game, man.
Rick Riz doesn't like it, but I've done some reading, and the reason why Randy does that is because he wants to be more patient at the plate. So if he just stands there and watches a strike go in, he's trying to be patient, but now he's upset at himself because he's like, oh, I could have swung at that pitch, and like second guessing himself.
So if he steps out, there's no second guessing. He's like, I wasn't going to hit it. I was over here.
And he won't swing out of his ass when he wasn't intending to swing initially.
Exactly.
Like he won't see a pitch that looks fat and swing when he wants to take at least one pitch here.
Yeah. If this is the situation you're talking about, this one worked very well in his
my
favor,
God.
too.
It was beautiful.
It was awesome.
It was very cool. If you guys didn't see it, Randy Arozarena did his trademark step off on the first pitch. And he
just statue and steps out right as he's releasing the ball. Like, just not even standing in the box by the time the ball crosses the plate.
You know, the pitcher's like, whoa, okay.
Okay.
It's outside or whatever. And he's like, weird. But
So I'll do it again. So he didn't get a strike. So next pitch, does it again. And the announcers are like, oh my God, he's done it twice. That's a little weird.
both balls.
Both balls.
You would expect on the 2-0 count that he's going to stand in there and look for a good one.
You would think. What does he do? steps out again.
Let's play this game.
Now it's 3-0, and Rick Riz and Dave Sims were both like, I've never seen this 3-0.
What is he doing?
What is he doing?
I haven't seen that ever either.
Yeah. Now on 3-0 count, he stays in and he mashes a bomb. Completely crushes it. Bounces off the upper deck in left field.
Yep. No doubter off the facing.
Oh, yeah. It was absolutely crushed. He's rounding the bases. He's celebrating. The catcher is yelling at him, and he doesn't even realize it. He does like a spin, like a jump spin. He doesn't give a shit.
Hell yeah.
But
Jonah Heim, yeah, he was salty about it.
Good.
But it ties in. The next at bat, the Rangers plunked Randy. And, rightfully so. It wasn't at his head. And sometimes, if you get disrespected like that, I can kind of understand throwing at a guy.
They did it the right way.
I fully believe that. They did it the right way. Now, however, when Randy got hit, JP, Julio were ready to climb up over the fence. And Randy tells him to calm down, like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. And then so you have that situation with Randy stopping a potential altercation, telling him it's okay. Now you have Randy Arozarena the next night against a different team.
I do want to say Randy did that to both dugouts. He was like to his own dugout. He's like, no, stay there. And then he turned back to the Rangers dugout and was like, we're good. And like, I'm going to first and let's just keep playing. Don't flood the field or like, we're good. Because I think he did want the momentum to keep going. And that is something like the Mariners did have some momentum in that moment, right?
Yeah.
So
He's also probably thinking, like, I got a home run. Now I'm on base. What's to fight about? We are
the
winning.
lead at home.
Yeah.
Let's not do this. We don't need to. No one needs to get suspended. Let's put it that way.
And, I can agree with it in like a vacuum if it was just that one play. But then for the next night, for Robles to get hit and he goes out and hugs the pitcher. And I'm just thinking, where's the fight in this team? Like,
Yeah.
I want you guys to care a little bit. And yeah, it is smart. No one needs to get suspended. But you could get in a couple. If you don't throw punches, you can have an altercation. You can clear the benches and kind of yell some shit without anyone facing any repercussions.
Yeah, why are they not fanning the fire? Like, use this as the bellows to get our tiny flame into, like, a raging fire. Please, we need it. This is we have 7 games left after tonight. Like,
Yeah.
we had 10 games left at the time. Like, when are we going to get fired up if we're not going to get fired up? We haven't been on the field in an altercation all year long. We haven't done anything. Scott's barely been thrown out of a game. Dan hasn't been thrown out of a game. Like, we've barely had anything happen where we have that animosity on the field that breeds an extra gear for those players that like to handle the situation as it's happening in the moment. That's big for a lot of players, and we're just coming out flat emotionally. There's only a few electric players, and the electric players aren't fueling the fire. Be the bellows.
They're hugging dudes.
Yeah, what the hell?
And I disagreed with
They
that.
have friends on other
Hey, man,
teams or what?
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
They are new Mariners.
And that play after Robles hit and the hug and then getting thrown out trying to steal.
Ugh.
And then the wheels just completely fell off. All the damage happened in the first 4 innings. They did all their damage in twos. It was a 2 RBI Judge double, a 2 RBI Judge single, and then a 2 RBI Soto home run, which also was
You already know, Juan Soto.
the last home run he needed to, one, reach 200 home runs, and he homered in every single ballpark. T-Mobile Stadium was the last stadium he had not hit a home run in. Hits a 2-run bomb for his 200. I mean, it was just the twos were everywhere.
He's finally in the American League, so we got a chance to tour the American League and hit all the stadiums he hasn't yet.
And just the wheels fell off. The game was completely dead. And I blamed the lack of fight from the team from the jump. Then, so we lose that game. Now we're into game 2. Mariners completely anemic, not doing shit until big JT, Justin Turner, old man strength, bottom of the 8th, hits a big home run, ties it at 1.
Real quick, I want to backtrack just very briefly.
Oh, what's up?
Me too.
Did you think?
Stick on that first
Do you
game
think
for a sec.
Robles should have been pulled from the game, even though I think they pulled him because he was injured? Would you have pulled him because he was I'm talking about how he stole home that one time.
No, yeah, I totally. Yes, I would have. I'd said that in the group chat too, and
I wouldn't have. I would have dealt with it behind the scenes later because he's such an impact player on our team right now.
He's the only one on the team worth a shit besides Cal.
I would have pulled him, and I think
That's crazy.
I think it played a role because yes, he
with
was
a week left, with 10 games left, 9 games left.
And getting hit in the hand. The injury would have been more concerning than his...
Because he did get pulled from the game.
Barring the injury, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would have left him in the game. It's just something that he made a bad decision. Most of his decisions pay off, but this was too much. It's just something you talk about after the game or even during the game and be like, dude,
but I agree
the situation.
I agree that with what you said, it's super selfish.
Yes.
It's kind of a very shitty thing to do.
Yes.
And you would have pulled him?
I believe so. And I kind of with the injury and
do
stuff,
you want to lose the game?
It didn't matter. They got blown out anyways.
Right.
But
that's true.
So, and I think it was less injury. I believe both sides played a role between him dealing with the hand issue of getting hit, and he was hurt. But also the situation, I think Dan actually kind of executed it at the perfect time. He pulled Robles in like the 5th inning. I believe the game was already out of hand. The Mariners were getting shit stomped.
Yep.
There was no life, and I think it did kind of play a role of like, okay, you are kind of hurt, so rest, but also you can't be doing that shit. So maybe I wouldn't have pulled. I honestly think Dan handled it perfectly.
Yeah.
Pulling him in the 5th, he gave him a couple innings, and okay, the hand is still bothering him, and it was a dumbass play. So
yeah.
Pull him from the game. I think Dan handled the situation well.
Yeah, that is a couple things that add to, maybe this guy doesn't have it today. He's not in the right mindset. Mm-hmm. He's not making the right decisions. So, maybe we should just bench him, put someone in who's feeling the game today.
A Dylan Moore type.
Sure. Maybe you can just throw Mitch Haniger in right field and slide Rayleigh over to center.
Is he still on this team?
I know,
Who's
right?
that guy?
He did get a couple starts this week, but I like that he hasn't been starting as much.
Yeah.
So that first game, we did get blown out. There's still a lot to talk about. We're still talking about it.
Sure.
The Yankees scored 11 runs on 12 hits. The Mariners scored 2 runs on 9 hits. And made 2 errors. So that was big as well. The errors did not help. I'm not sure what they are at this point.
Cal had a rare error that game.
It was throwing to the outfield.
Throwing error,
Yeah.
which is only Cal's 6th error on the entire season.
He's so good.
Errors happen, but
what a stud.
Cal did have a throwing error in that game.
Sailed one.
Yep.
Well, the Yankees, 22 total bases. And total bases, that comes from just hitting the ball and how many bases you get from hitting the ball. It's not like a stolen base isn't a total base. So when you see the TB column on the box scores, that's just they hit the ball and got this many bases. Yankees, 22 total bases. Mariners, 17 total bases. Yankees left 7 on base. Mariners left 11 on base. It's not like we didn't get guys on.
Right. We had traffic.
We had opportunities to score all fucking day and didn't.
This is Mariners baseball.
That's right.
So, I don't know. And then one of the coverage titles here, it says, Aggressive Robles Gamble backfires versus Yankees. So that's the day. That's just how it happened. That's it. Robles started it off without the right kind of energy. The Mariners followed suit and absolutely got shit stomped.
Quick follow-up on game 2.
Yeah.
Demo starts at third base.
The second game, I think it's because they had Cortez, the lefty, pitching. Dylan Moore hits better off of lefties than Rojas does. I would definitely start Dylan Moore over Rojas versus a lefty. And I'm not huge on like the handed matchup,
Right.
but I do think Dylan Moore can hit Nestor better than Rojas, because Nestor's a pretty crafty lefty. He's always throwing a bunch of junk. It's not easy for lefties to hit Nestor. So I don't blame them for making that decision. But it wasn't all the way up and down the lineup. They had lefties in the lineup. But I think Dylan Moore is a good decision in that situation. I would take either of those players. Rojas ended up pinch hitting and getting 2 at-bats when they changed pitchers later in the game. So I just think they'd had a platoon situation in mind before the game started. Like, you're both going to be playing today. Demo's starting. be ready, Rojas. Like, get some swings in the cage. So,
And also, I kind of like the more start because he still needs occasional playing time. Clearly, he's not the everyday guy right now, but he has gotten a little bit more. Like, he was playing second base and stuff like that. I believe
Filled in for JP a little bit.
Yeah, he's
with
played
Rivas. Was it Rivas playing shortstop?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I think it was just Dylan Moore. I mean, yeah, with the splits, and it's like, okay, he hasn't been playing as much. Clearly, he's not like a top tier player. He doesn't deserve the starting spot, but he should still get some game time. And I think just the way the pitching matchup lined up and stuff, it was reasonable for him to get a start that day. So I'm okay with that move.
Me too. Dylan Moore is a Mariner. He doesn't have any skills that are jumping off the page
He's
except
so
for speed.
fast.
He's so fast.
So he plays good defense, like solid defense, has good speed, but at the plate, he's gotten better at the plate, but he still strikes out a lot. He swings and misses a lot.
On brutal stuff. And especially
Yeah.
the Mariners have done a lot better with their chasing this year. I mean, even when we were striking out, 14 times a game, we were fourth best in chase rate.
Yeah.
And Demo, I mean, I watched him take a couple of bats, and he's still chasing like crazy. The sliders out of the zone, he's
But
still.
early in the year, chase wasn't his problem. But like you're saying, earlier in the year, we were good on chase rate, but we could not hit pitches in the zone, and we're
Right.
swinging through pitches in the zone. And that's a big problem. And I think Demo is one of those guys, but he doesn't have intense power, but he is good at getting the ball in the air off of especially notorious ground ball pitchers. He's a guy that has a swing that's able to lift because it's shorter. He's able to get the barrel at the right angle for contact to put the ball in the air rather than grounding into double plays in inopportune situations all the fucking time, which happens too often with a guy like Julio that clutches up and tries to put the ball in the air but then hits it straight into the ground constantly. So I do like Dylan Moore's skills. It's just that he hasn't put all of it together. He doesn't have enough skills to be an everyday starter, but he's
Right.
a great piece to always be moving around, giving a guy a day off. He can play outfield, he can play infield, he can play any position. Like we've been saying, throw the gear on him if we need to. I want to see Dylan Moore catch before he's not a Mariner anymore.
I've been saying that.
You wanted that for so long.
Dude.
I still do.
Yep.
Garver got to start at DH, which I thought was stupid in the second game.
No matter what.
It was so
it's
dumb.
a bad decision every time.
Rayleigh was on the bench until late in the game and had one at bat for Haniger. I thought they should have pinch hit Rayleigh for Garver the inning before they actually pinch hit him for Haniger. I think it would have been a way better decision. But either way, Nuke Rayleigh came up and struck out. So
Nuke.
Yeah.
He's still striking out quite a bit, although he is the one of two Mariners that have over 20 home runs this year.
That power threat.
It's him and Cal are the only ones because Cal has 30, 31, somewhere in there. And Luke has 20, and those are the only two Mariners with over 20 home runs. And Luke has done that with only playing partially. I
Yeah.
mean, give him a full season. I would like to see Luke Rayleigh next year as our everyday starting first baseman. Because let's be real, Justin Turner, I would love another year of Justin Turner, but who knows? He's 39 years old. Who knows if he's even going to play next year or what his contract stuff is. So if we don't have JT on the team, I want Luke Rayleigh as our first baseman next year.
If we don't trade for Vlad,
Well,
I'm going to keep hoping.
that is true.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was one of our big targets on the trade market this deadline, and the Blue Jays kept saying they're going to keep him. They did. They said they want to extend him, or Vlad said he's ready for an extension. They didn't sign an extension yet. I wonder what's going to happen this offseason because they do have one more year of him. I wonder if they were just like, let's keep him till the offseason and field offers from more than a few teams that need him right this minute. And the Blue Jays don't want to directly help the Mariners get into the playoffs during a season when they're losing and watch Vlad help the Mariners get into the playoffs. That would just hurt them and their fan base and like, oh, they didn't invest in our team. They just let him go there and look what they did, like that kind of thing. I think it's just optically way better for the Blue Jays to keep him to the offseason and say they want to extend him. And then if it doesn't work out, they just make some excuses like, we just didn't have the budget. We got outbid. There's plenty of ways to just keep him on the team and not help another team in your division or your league win that year. And they'll field more options next year, or this offseason is what I mean. More teams are going to be after Vlad this offseason than at the deadline.
It will definitely be an interesting. I mean, that's a name to watch in the offseason, and he would definitely make the Mariners better.
Luke Raley can be in right field, man. Get Mitch Haniger the heck out of here.
But
and
now
put
we have
Luke Raley in right.
But I want our outfield to be Randy, Julio, Victor. I want Robles in right field damn near every day.
I have a question.
What's up?
Who's our designated hitter? What I'm saying is one of those guys can DH. We can have a four-man outfield, and one of those guys can DH. One of them can play first base too. Like, we have a little bit of flexibility because we don't have a DH, because Garver is absolute garbage this year.
And we were so excited.
Yeah.
We were like, we
Because
finally
he's a good player is the thing.
Yeah.
This year is insane. He just lost it.
He cannot
completely.
hit.
But I was gonna say, what do you think Rayleigh does as a DH? I mean,
Hits.
he hits and is fast.
I bet he
Yes.
gets better at hitting lefties if he only DHs. But
I mean,
he's so good in the
basically
field.
Shohei Ohtani. Let's be real.
pretty much the same guy.
He is.
I think Rayleigh has a cannon. I think he's fast and he has value in the field.
He
so
does
he's
have
not.
value in the field.
I'd say, if anything, Randy Arozarena, who is very risk averse in the outfield. He's
Yes.
smart about when he takes his risks usually, but he'll make amazing plays and then make terrible misplays too. So I'd say Randy's more of a guy you DH more and just kind of rotate him out some days.
Although I will
Even
say,
Julio, why not?
I'm just saying we're
DH
putting
Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, why not? Give him some days off in the field.
we're putting all of this though on the pipe dream that the Mariners even sign Vlad.
Yeah.
So let's say that doesn't happen, which I would put at an 85% chance that it doesn't happen.
Sure.
So if that's the case, yes, we got Robles in right, Julio in center, Randy in left, and we have Rayleigh at first base every day. I would love that lineup.
Oh, I was just thinking.
And if JT comes back, you DH JT.
Yes, I would do that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So JT's contract is up at the end of this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to go into free agency, decide whether he wants to play and where he wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to have him for another year. Because
I like him.
I like him a lot, man. I think he brings a really stable mindset to a team, and that veteran presence is real with that guy. We kind of talked about it with these other dudes like Polanco and Haniger and
No
like,
need
other
for those
veterans.
two anymore.
I mean, that impact was minuscule compared to the type of impact Justin Turner makes just by standing in the dugout.
Yes.
So that's real. And these other guys, we were hoping for that, but we didn't get anywhere close to that. So yeah, JT for another year makes sense. I wouldn't mind having him around to hit the baseball because he's really good at it. He's seen more pitches than anybody on that team.
And just the veteran at bats. Like, even if he strikes out or whatever, which does happen, you can be the best hitter in the world. You can be Shohei. You're still going to strike out.
Breaking news:
Oh, yeah.
baseball is hard.
Yes.
If you swing, you're going to miss sometimes.
But Turner, even with a strikeout, it's still those veteran at bats. Even just, okay, he strikes out on 6 pitches, but he fouled 2 of those off. Instead of just striking out on 3 pitches, he took a ball and fouled 2 off before he struck out. That's a veteran at bat right there. I mean, it's minor, but that is just a couple added pitches to the pitch count that you can get into that bullpen earlier. I really like Turner. And yeah, he can go wherever he wants next year, or like wherever teams want him. He has full choice. But I would not mind another year of JT.
What sucks is we have Polanco for another year. Right? I don't think it's an option. If there's a team option, I don't think we
I don't
keep
think we'd
him.
send him down.
I'm gonna check that real quick. But if we have Polanco next year,
My
what are
man
we
hit
doing?
a grand slam in spring training, and I was like, "Let's go! We got Polanco this year."
I was stoked.
and then the year played out, and I was like, "Fuck!"
I was excited about Polanco being a comeback type player. He's had injuries, but he's had really good years. His best one being in 2018, though. We're pretty far removed from the best years of Polanco's career so far. We're hoping he could have some kind of resurgence.
And
He
Jerry's
does
been
have
after
power.
Polanco since probably 2018.
I thought it was a
So
good
he
move.
finally got his opportunity and was like, "Let's go!" And a little too late there.
Polanco and Garver's contracts have not played out very well. I know we have Garver next year for
Yep.
sure, but I think Polanco, Let's see.
We need to not have Garver next year.
Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna do with him. What can you do?
Someone will trade for him, right?
I mean, maybe, and he'll probably
know.
hit somewhere next year. But they see that 171 average, and
It's obvious he's had such a down year. So, and I think everyone in the league
Someone
sees that.
will take him. Someone wants Mitch Garver.
For basically nothing.
and then he's
though.
going to go wherever he goes and perform pretty damn well.
Yeah.
If the Mariners end up
30
moving,
home runs.
Yeah.
oh my god, I would lose it.
If the Mariners end
But
up,
we've seen it happen too many times for it to be like off the table.
I mean, look at Ketel Marte and Tyler O'Neill, guys we've given up for not a lot, and they're having great seasons and a great couple years. Ketel Marte is like the top ranked second baseman in baseball. Imagine if we still had him instead of Polanco at second.
yeah, Ketel Marte wasn't panning out here. When we traded him, it wasn't like he was on track to do what he's doing now. He had
But
a
he was still
breakout.
so young, and that's the thing. We just gave up on him early. We did the
Yeah.
same shit with Chris Taylor.
But if he didn't go to another environment and be around the coaching and the team that he was on there, would he have improved to be the player he is now? You never know. There's
it's
so many
true, but-
moving pieces when you move a whole new environment and team. Like the Mariners seem to be cursed with that type of player. And I do think Ketel Marte did have a lot of potential at that time. It wouldn't have been a bad move to keep him around and see, but the Mariners weren't going to be competitive, so they're trying to get the most value for their best players at the time, the players with the most potential to break out, and he was kind of at that point, like Kelenic when we traded Kelenic last year.
exactly. It wasn't going to work out on the Mariners.
Yeah, so they get them at the highest value they're going to. They get the trade done and move on because they know their team isn't like competitive like that. And I think that's what happened to Marte, even though I would like to have him on our team now, of course. Yeah.
Old Kettle Marty.
So Polanco, club option next year. Polanco's gone, bro. He's not staying. If we keep Polanco
Thank
and
God.
pay him $10.5 million or
that's not
$12
gonna
million,
happen.
I'm gonna be fucking pissed, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
so
he
now who
should
do we
be
have at
gone.
second next year?
I mean, Dylan Moore,
I guess.
so far. Ryan Bliss, if he can make a jump.
I forgot about Bliss.
But I think we trade for somebody. We
Maybe.
have to.
Maybe.
We'll trade for a second baseman that had a good season 3 years ago, and the same shit will happen.
Not a bad move.
Why can't we get
I like
someone?
the way you think.
Why couldn't we get a fucking second baseman at the deadline? I was calling for Polanco to be fucking gone. Just, he's not panning out. And every time I talk shit, he ends up turning it around and doing something to like make me look stupid in the moment. But his season sucks. He
Remember
sucks.
when we were talking about getting
I thought he would be good this year. He's
Bellinger
not good.
and moving JP to second base? And then the
It
whole.
wasn't Bellinger because he's not a
No.
shortstop.
Yeah, no, who am I thinking of?
Trey Turner.
Trey Turner. Yep, that's who it was.
There were a
Bellinger.
bunch of Carlos Correa. This was a couple of years ago when there were
And then
shortstops.
once everything kind of fizzled out, that didn't end up happening. Somebody in the media
Dansby Swanson.
Bobby Witt.
Yeah.
I asked JP, like, would you have been down to move to second base? And he's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. Of
So
course.
maybe we pick up a solid shortstop and put JP at second next
That's a
year.
That
possibility.
is a potential move, yes.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that too much, but
Yeah, because we do kind of just assume that JP is our staple at short, and he still has such a strong arm. His range can be iffy at times, but his arm is strong.
he's a special shortstop.
And usually your second baseman has a weaker arm, much shorter throws to first. So I don't know, like JP's arm would be wasted at second. But yeah, if I have to pick between like Polanco again at second base or JP and picking another shortstop, we'll take the other shortstop.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I would not mind that at all. When that was an idea, back when all those shortstops were on the market, I thought it was a great idea, and we were talking about like, would JP be okay with that? And I was arguing at the time, like, yeah, he's gonna do anything that the Mariners want him to do to make this team better. You think if we're going to get Dansby Swanson or Trey Turner, he's not going to willingly move right over and play middle infield with them? This is his teammate. That makes the team better, so it makes him better, Like, it makes everything you do on the field more important and, like, better because you're building a good team, not just, like, an average team. But we didn't go for guys like Turner, Dansby, Correa, all that kind of. Not that we wanted Correa here.
Yeah, I'm
just
okay with not having Correa.
mentioning names that were on the market during that time. But
Bobby Witt is my dream Mariner.
Well, it's a
not
shame
trading
because
for
he
that guy.
signed like a 75-year deal with
Let
the
me
Royals.
dream.
he's an absolute.
He would be
stud.
awesome. And I feel like he would fit in with this team very well. But unfortunately, the Royals locked him down for the next 2 eternities. So
Would you trade straight up Julio Rodriguez for Bobby Witt Jr.?
Yes.
I would too.
I think that's a no doubter right now. Bobby Witt is an absolute stud and legend. He's a 30-30 season again this year, 2 years in a row, his first 2 years in the league. If there was, who's going to win the MVP in the American League?
Judge, probably.
Yeah, I mean, if whoever's having the best season in the American League, I feel like there's a front runner. It's got to be Judge, right?
Yeah.
If Judge wasn't doing what he's doing, Bobby Witt would be the no doubt MVP. He's this runner-up MVP in the American League immediately. He's the best, man. I don't think that he's going anywhere except for up. He's going to be better and
Yeah,
better.
there you go. He's on the Royals forever.
He's going to be better and better. So JP's contract, we have him through 2026. He's a free agent in 2027. It is possible we move him before then, but I don't think it'll be this offseason. No. Castillo is around the same time. We have him till 2027 or 28. And Castillo, you were mentioning, Garrett, did you read something somewhere about Castillo and JP being on the trade market?
No, not really. It's kind of a hypothetical is what I saw, but
Like a potential move that could happen.
Because I've been saying things like that. That's when our window closes, but I don't want our window to be closed. I'd rather ride this out for a year or two and see what we can do to keep building this team up before we tear it down like that.
Right, and we've talked about it before. A lot of people are talking about trading Logan.
Fuck
I think that's insane.
Yeah.
I would much rather trade Luis Castillo because
Yeah.
we pay him a lot more money.
Yeah.
Someone will take him, and we need Logan to be our literally ace.
Yes.
And not an ace, a true ace pitcher.
Yes.
This kid is
He's a horse.
He's amazing.
He is. He has 200 strikeouts on the season. Let's
How long
go.
have we done this? 2.5, 3 years now, 3.5 years, something.
Yeah, something like that.
Since we started, I've been saying Logan Gilbert is going to be our guy for a very long time, and he's going to be insane.
Is your Cy Young pick?
Yeah,
this
dude.
year? Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, he's so good.
I mean, not this year.
Every year.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, he won't win Cy Young this year.
No, he won't.
His win-loss is too terrible.
That's
even
so
though,
dumb.
I mean, it is.
I don't even like hearing it. I don't like when you guys bring it up. I think it's so stupid.
You're not wrong, but
What?
he has
You're not wrong.
He has an 8-11 record. He's not going to win Cy Young just based
And
off
that's
that.
dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
I
like
think that-
picking a silver slugger based on how well they perform at the plate. And it's like, that's stupid. Why would you do that?
or it's like when
Or I'm not sorry. What did I say? Silver slugger?
Golden
Yeah.
Glove.
Gold glove. That's
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that happened to us years ago when we had Brendan Ryan, when Brendan Ryan was by far the best defensive shortstop in all of baseball, and it wasn't even close. His DRS, his defensive runs saved, were through the roof, and he should have won it. But like you said, he batted like 156, and so they didn't give him the Gold Glove, even though defensively he 100% earned it. But yeah, that kind of stuff ties in.
We're looking at the same thing with Josh Rojas right now.
Yeah,
dude
dude.
is crazy
Do you
at
know-
third base.
Do you know that he is statistically having a better year at third base than Eugenio Suarez did last year?
Oh, hell yeah.
He's
And-
like leading the league in defensive runs saved, and like he has crazy range.
And it's by a lot.
Yeah, it's like by like 3 or 4 defensive runs saved, and like it's
Would you think? Would you think?
that's a lot though.
It is.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
has like 7 defensive runs saved when the next guy has 5.
That's crazy. I don't.
Yeah.
How did Suarez not have that? Like that stat. Why is that stat so fucking valuable? Because watching those two guys play, they're both really good.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Rojas looks awesome over there, but Suarez played his ass off last year and got absolutely. He wasn't even in the top 3. Like he wasn't even in contention for the Gold Glove when we thought it was almost automatic.
I mean,
And I would not expect Rojas to even get the Gold Glove, but he's all of a sudden a front runner for it. Like, what
Dude's
the fuck
dope.
are these stats that they look at? And
well, it's weird because like if they're going again with like the analytics and going off of paper and stuff, I don't think they just like, if you're not watching the games and you're just like figuring out the stats through paper, they didn't see how dominant Suarez was with the little chopper kind of near the mound and the bare hand rocket across. I mean, Rojas is amazing, and I really think he should win the Gold Glove. I have never seen a defensive third baseman be better at the bare hand, rocket across the body, rocket across the field, get him at first.
It was art, dude.
Suarez was the best at, and he played all 162 games last year and started 161. There was one game he didn't get the start and then came in as a pinch hitter later on. He played in all 162. I don't know what they're looking at and why Suarez wasn't even a front runner.
Range.
I mean,
fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah.
It's positioning. The way we positioned him, he was playing almost shortstop half the fucking season. Every
And
time
that probably went
left-handed
against
hitter.
him.
So his range
That's
looks
insane.
terrible.
Yes.
It's like, dude,
That's
how about
so
we-
ass backwards.
it's so bad.
yeah.
But I guess it's about how many opportunities you get, where the balls hit, but not how consistent you are, I guess. You know, not how locked down you are at third base, because every time the ball was hit there, we knew the result.
Yes.
It's an out at first base. So I'm not sure what the heck they do over there at third base, but I hope Rojas gets this Gold Glove.
He really
I mean,
deserves
he
it.
won't. But
also,
I'm right there with you,
Chapman's
man.
not there.
I mean, I think one thing that helps Rojas is that his average is decent this year. It's not phenomenal,
all right.
but it's not in the gutter.
God, he
And,
started so hot.
It's 227 right now.
I mean,
That's pretty good.
and
I will take that all the time.
and the thing is with Suarez, like leading the lead in strikeouts. And again, all of this is so ridiculous
It
because
is.
we're talking about their offensive stats on whether or not they win a Gold Glove. And
Exactly.
it's bullshit. It should play no role, but unfortunately, it does. So I think with Rojas not leading the league in strikeouts and having like a decent enough average, I think he should take it this year. And he should. I mean, if we're going off of defensive statistics, Rojas should have it.
Rojas has 7 outs above average and 7 defensive runs saved this season. He's the only American League third baseman with at least 5 of each.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's dominant. Like,
There's
a
no
dominant
way.
defensive stat.
And again, if he does not win the Gold Glove, the fix is in, and it's just the media bias. I've harped on this since episode 1 of this Sogcast, of the East Coast bias and not caring about the Mariners. And yeah, if Rojas does not get the Gold Glove this year, the fix is clearly in.
Is there anyone else that deserves a Gold Glove on the Mariners this year?
No.
Cal Raleigh?
Cal Raleigh.
Oh,
I would say Cal Raleigh is the closest. Otherwise, there's no one else.
yeah, but do they take into account, like, are they taking account, like, fielding bunts or throwing runners out?
Always throwing runners out.
I mean,
Always
then
passed balls.
Then yes, we should have
Passed balls are errors.
yeah, we
And
should have.
you said he has 6 errors on the
He
season?
just got his 6th
That's
error.
not many.
And he plays the majority of the time. It's very rare we have another catcher in. So yeah, I think we should have 2 potential Gold Glove winners.
and
this
neither
year.
of them will get it. That's how it's going to play
yeah,
out.
we said
But yes,
Cal last year, and he wasn't even close there either. So
I
we'll
guess
see.
we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So Gold Glove talk aside, let's get back into the Yankees series.
Mm-hmm.
We had more problems in Game 2 with, you want the epitome of like Mariners fandom and just the pain and the suffering and the stupidness. Justin Turner hits that home run in the bottom of the 8th to tie it. The Mariners haven't done jack all game. He ties it 1-1.
Held it to 1 run, though. Bryce Miller had a great day.
Super clutch. Yeah, Bryce Miller, he ended up going 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. He kept them off balance. He did everything he could to prevent runs, gave up 1 in the first, and that was it.
Gave us a serious chance to win this game.
And he also, real quick, he pitched out of trouble because 4 walks. I mean, that's 4 free base runners, and
Yeah.
he pitched around all of that. Very nice start.
With an intentional walk to to Soto to get to Judge, I think, at one point in like the 3rd inning. He got something like that.
Bryce Miller's my second favorite pitcher on the Mariners right now.
Oh, he's awesome, man. And I've seen him doing his work all year long. He's making great adjustments. His fastball's amazing. His split finger has been the game changer for him since he's been willing to add that to his arsenal and change his slider. His pitch mix is insane now. The way his fastball rides, it's good luck hitting that split.
Can you imagine if we keep Logan and he just is the way that he is, amazing, and Bryce Miller like catches up to him, and we have Bryce Miller and Logan Gilbert doing the same shit?
And Woo.
I've been talking about this for a while, man. I mean, Kirby and Gilbert were the beginning of that class of pitchers, the group of youngsters coming up through our minor league system that are learning these types of things. And I think that Bryce Miller is a perfect example because he's putting together all the pieces that we've seen Kirby and Gilbert.
What are you doing?
Stuff around on our table.
What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm talking about our pitchers being awesome. Bryce Miller is going to be that guy.
I think so too.
He's right in line. There's nothing that is that's holding him back. You know what I mean? There's no weaknesses that are obvious that we can see in his performance. Doing this to the Yankees, the way he did that last year here, I think too. He dominated the Yankees a couple times, but it's going to happen when that type of offense is on the field. But that second game, 1 run in the first, that's it. Pitched around trouble, got through 6, easy. Made it look easy.
Yeah.
The Yankees had 3 hits all game.
And then JT comes in.
JT.
Bottom of 8, home run, old man strength, tie game. Going to the 9th, we used Munoz in the non-safe situation. We needed to shut him down, and you guys have both been, I mean, all 3 of us, but you guys have both hyped up how much you like Dan's usage of Munoz.
Yes.
In these situations where it's like, and the opposite of what Scott did, where Scott was like, well, we might save Munoz for later if we need it. And
if we can tie the game, or if we can...
Yeah, and it ends up being too late.
Throw your best pitcher in there. Dan believed in this team.
Yes.
Scott did not do a lot of. He put Munoz in the 8th because we were down by a run, and he's like, we can hold it to 1 run, and we can score a run. Well, who says we can't score a run? Scott Service would say, there's no shot we're scoring this run.
Exactly.
Let's save Munoz for tomorrow. That was his philosophy.
It's awful, man.
It was terrible. Anyway.
We get into the 10th now, and they hit like a leadoff single and, Manfred runner on second. So it's 2-1. And so the Mariners need to score. We get out of it. That was the only damage. Free runner scored. Big deal. We're now in the bottom of the 10th. Julio starts at second base, and let's be fair, the only reason he started on second base is because in the bottom of the 9th, with the game on the line, with a runner in scoring position, he struck out. So since he was the last out, he starts on second base. Cal hits a single and moves him to third, and honestly, I kind of thought Manny maybe should have sent. You don't think so?
No. Verdugo ran it into the infield. Like, it was close enough that it was right at him, for one. It got through the infield, but it was right at Verdugo, and he ended up, like, on the radio, they were like Sandlot style, he runs it back into the infield, because he came up ready to throw, and there's no chance that we're going to score. It was too shallow.
Okay.
He ran it into the infield. Like, that tells me, even though I was just listening, that there's no shot we're sending him there. And I think that's the safe move. No outs, runners on the corners to tie the game, or tying runs on third.
Yeah. You don't want to run into an out at the plate. I get it.
If anything, we safety squeeze or sack fly and score that run. So we can't risk sending him there.
I trust Manny Acta. He has done one questionable thing all year.
True.
So now we have runners on the corners with no one out and Randy Arozarena up to the plate. Randy strikes out, and he strikes out so badly, so fooled, he launches his bat down the third baseline. Now, Julio is lined up in foul territory, as you do when you're leading off a third base. He is in foul territory. The bat lands in fair territory. It was kind of close to Julio, and I'm sure it was slightly startling. However, Julio decides to make a big show of dodging the bat. He dodges the bat, and he runs all the way to near the Yankees dugout, and he's making facial expressions. He's laughing. He's having a good
Thank
time.
God I dodged
He's
that.
doing the shoulders. He's
Yeah.
like, ooh, oh, like smiling, looking at the Yankees dugout.
Yeah, he's gloating. He's like, "Oh, guys, wasn't that crazy? Like,
Almost got hit there.
oh, that was
You
wild."
missed me.
And in the meantime, while Julio is putting on that grand display, the Yankees notice that he is now a million miles from third base.
Yep.
Jazz Chisholm is screaming at Wells, their catcher, "Throw me the ball, throw me the ball." And it took time for them to realize.
Wells took a few steps down the line towards third before he even threw the ball.
And Julio is so far gone and jogging and off in La La Land. They throw it down to third. Julio tries to dive back.
From the angle, of, like from the dugout. Like
Yeah,
he's-
it's such a weird, like...
watching someone dive into third from foul territory is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And he got backpicked. And we went from runners at first and third with no one out to now a runner on first with 2 outs. And it was...
Some call that a worse situation.
It's not as good
Baseball analysts would look at that and they would say, that's not ideal.
Let's run the sabermetrics on that. What do the advanced statistics say? But yeah, so he gets backpicked, and now we are in a shit situation. Can't score. Mariners lose 2-1. And what really bothered me about that is Julio playing it up to the cameras, playing it up to the Yankees dugout. It wasn't even, it's different if like the Mariners were on the third base side and he's like laughing with his teammates. No, he was putting on a show for the Yankees. And
Or at the Yankees. He didn't do it for the... fuck, maybe he did.
he was putting on a show.
He was in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Yankees dugout is cracking up laughing because they just saw what a dumb ass move Julio just did. And so we lose that game. And what really bothered me is afterwards the Julio comments of him not taking responsibility and being like, "Oh, it was crazy. I was just trying to not get my head taken off by the bat. It's funny. None of these guys have ever seen anything like that happen." And just kind of like the joking nature of it drove me crazy. It's like, are we not fighting for a playoff spot? And at that point, 3 games in a row, we had the Randy situation, the Robles situation, and now the Julio situation. 3 of our stars messing up 3 games in a row, boneheaded decisions, and then just not seeming to care afterwards. And I lost it. In the group chat, in our doc, I was upset all night. I'm like, where's the fight? Do these guys even care? We care. We're watching these games. We're upset. We're frustrated. And they're laughing it off. Like, do these guys even give a shit? Are they already planning their off season in their head?
Something new every day. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it was just
Fuck me.
infuriating. And in typical Mariners fashion, that again seems like that's the final nail in the coffin. That we can't come back from this. And Julio has now been on a tear since that play happened.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
we
say
can talk
a
about
couple
the whole-
things, man.
Oh, go ahead.
Say a couple things about this play. If you're on third base and there's no outs and you're the tying run, what are your priorities? There's one priority.
Score.
Hit home
Be
plate.
safe and
Yeah.
score. You want to go 90 feet and tie this ball game up.
Yes.
Whatever is thrown at you, whatever happens on the field, you should always be watching the ball. And even if a bat is flying towards you, your priority is to be safely on base. So he looks away from the bat, from the pitch. He's looking all around. He's in his own head, dancing, and then tries to dive back into third base super quick and looks so dumb, man. I've never seen anyone look dumber. That seriously, and everyone's on their feet. There's no outs. We have runners on. Cal Raleigh just got you to third base.
Yep.
Like, think about how you're letting your team down in this situation. Randy throwing the bat is one thing. That happens, man. It happens. But your priority is to get on the base. This is the third strike. You should know it's the third strike. You should know every situation, every pitch. You should know the count. You should know how many outs there are. Regardless of where the bat is thrown, fucking take one for the team, bud. I don't give a shit if he gets hit by that bat as long as he gets back on third base.
I'm rewatching it now, trying to figure out how close was the bat to him.
It's not that close.
It's not that.
It's
close.
really not close.
It's not
close enough to run halfway to the Yankees side dugout.
He turns away from the play.
He does. He completely turns away from everything.
And it's not closer than him standing in the box when 100-mile-per-hour chin music like dusts him off. You know, he's
and it's at his legs. It's not like he's gonna get hit in the head, even if he did get hit. So you take one to the calf.
Look how far he has to run back to third base.
I mean, yeah. It's
what is he doing? He's like 30 feet off the bag.
Seriously.
He takes like 7 or 8
in his own head.
steps.
He was completely out of it. Yeah.
Like that
I'll
can
just have it
never
on
happen.
repeat for you guys.
That can never happen.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch him go through his growing pains. Yes, he is a superstar caliber player. He has not lived up to that yet. He's still making these types of mistakes. I don't remember ever seeing Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, even a guy's
Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, Tatis. I mean, these guys don't make those types of mistakes. They take advantage
Our favorite young
of everything.
guys.
They're locked in. They're on base safely. They're so quick. But Julio's outside of himself. What is this spin move and little fucking... What is he doing? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Turn it off.
So it makes me want to punch myself in the face.
Don't do that.
It makes me want to. I won't. But
That's
hopefully
stupid.
that won't happen again because I might just do it.
Don't.
Okay, fine. I won't.
Because then that's actually a very selfish move because then me and Patrick, our team, have to do a podcast with you with a fucking broken nose that you did to yourself.
That's true. That's true.
And would so Mariners if you would have done that.
it would have been.
Yep, self-inflicted wounds is very Mariners. So we end up losing this game 2-1. I do like that we ended up using Munoz. I don't think we set up the situation quite well as we should have there because Munoz came in. We were down a run in the 8th, not the 9th. I thought it was the 9th because Munoz came in, and I was like listening on the radio, and then I realized I was like, oh, we just used Munoz in the 8th inning. Have we done that at all this year? I don't think we've done that. Like
We've used him for 4-out saves.
Yeah, but
But with a lead.
not
yeah.
coming in down by 1 in the 8th inning, giving him a clean inning. So we
I say
used
that's
him.
a good move by Dan.
Amazing.
I liked it.
I have not seen it. I love it. So we ended up using Troy Taylor in the middle. He struck out the side after Miller was done. Munoz came in, 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, gets it done. Colin Snyder comes in, gives up the 1 hit and 1 run, but strikes out the side. I think he struck out 2 guys and then gave up the hit. Either way, we had that game in the bag and completely fucked ourselves. I would have rather seen the Mariners special, load the bases and not score, than watch Julio do that because at least we've seen that happen. Like this is absolutely something that is undeniably, I don't know. It's like the worst thing you can do.
It was bad. It was bad.
In the biggest situation, our biggest player doesn't
have his head in the game. And you stack that on top of something that has now happened in 3 straight games from our 3 outfielders that we are so excited to have. These are the stars of our team on the offensive side outside of Cal. And but these are the 3 big names. This is a big 3 outfield. And game after game after game, all 3 of them messed up massively in different ways. And I give Randy blame for throwing his bat too. Yes, it does happen. But honestly, it happens pretty frequently with Randy. Hold on to the damn bat, bro.
You're also playing the Yankees at home. What you want is to please don't embarrass us. And that's kind of all they did.
Yes.
So I think part of this problem, it's just kind of coming to me where like we're talking about players that are new to the Mariners. Even Julio is new to the Mariners. Like he is a Mariner because he hasn't played for any other teams. But he's still, this is what, third year in the league?
Year.
We just picked up Robles. We just picked up Randy. We just picked up Turner. All these guys, there seems to be a lot of like good pieces. They're good players, but there's no cohesiveness. We're all on different pages.
I mean,
like some guys are in a different chapter than these other guys are, so we're not playing a cohesive style of baseball. But we do have more tools to use, but they're not necessarily fitting right.
I see where you're coming from. There's a lot of new Mariners, though. Rojas is new to the Mariners.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rayleigh is new
Rayleigh.
to the Mariners. Polanco, I think you said Polanco. Garver's new to the Mariners.
Yeah.
I mean,
Too many moving pieces.
almost everybody, even with this timeline, Castillo is new to the Mariners.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
feel
I just can't.
the
I
plug and
can't
play
blame
style.
it on just that. Sure. Maybe there is a lack of cohesiveness, but I don't think it's because everybody's new.
I mean, just the second half of the year. We just talked about Robles, about Randy, and JT's making a difference in his way. They all
Right,
make
I see what you mean,
differences, but they're not all on the same page yet.
And I agree, and I've harped on this a long time. This team, especially this year and last year, especially lack an identity. There's not a thing that's like, oh, this is Mariners baseball. I guess maybe our starting pitching. But
Yes, but when we got Randy and Robles, we were so excited. That's an identity to have Randy, Julio, Robles in the outfield, and be like, we're gonna have the most fun outfield.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's a great thing, but at the same time, that's still not our identity. It hasn't come to fruition yet.
No, it's still unstable. They're still
Yeah,
trying
it's very
to
unstable. Is a
grow.
great way to put it. Yeah.
They're trying to grow together, but it's been
Well,
2 months.
maybe next season.
Yeah, right?
I know. I texted my mom that I was like, I'm just like fed up and like done with this team. I'm not, obviously, but
You have to get the frustrations out. You
Yeah.
can say you're fed up, you're done. We're never done. We're here.
But
This is our team.
But I texted my mom and she's like, well, there's always next year. And I was like, yeah, but it's always there's always next year.
That's our whole life.
Like that's how we live as Mariners fans. Is like, well, maybe next year it could happen.
And
How many times can you hear that before you're like,
30
maybe there's not. Maybe there's
31
not a
years.
next year.
while our
31
window
years.
while our window is open and we actually have a chance to get to the playoffs, why are we not spending the money to make a roster to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's not a question that you want the answer to.
No. I'm just saying we've had plenty of those conversations all year.
We know the
but
answer.
This is the biggest problem: is we didn't build a winning offense at the beginning of the year. We add too little, too late, and while our pitching is the most dominant it's ever been, we can't do shit. Why? Lack of spending. There's still so much payroll room, but no, they're looking ahead to the future when we do move on from Castillo, from JP, from our long contract guys. So then we get to extend maybe one or two of the players that we have, hopefully Cal and Logan, and then trade everyone else and rebuild. Like, they're looking ahead to the future.
Do you think
it's not about winning for the front
DePoto
office?
is like has any faith in his next crop? Or do you think it's more of the same? Like, you think when Cole Young makes the team that he's going to be like, this is what I wanted. This is what I worked so hard to put together. I'm going to build a team around Cole Young
I think
Harry Ford.
and Harry Ford.
I really think that DePoto knows the odds of that happening because there's so many players that there's statistical odds, and there's types of players who will make it to the majors because they look so good in the whole minor league system and then can't get it done at the majors. Like, look at Jared Kelenic, for example. Like
Mike Zunino.
Mike Z, yeah.
We talk about this all the
4A
time.
players.
But what I want to know
which
is
one of those guys can. I think he knows all of, even our top prospects is like that. Like, they might not be able to get it done at the major league level, even though they're so highly touted. I think he knows that. I don't know how much confidence he has in those guys. I don't think he looks at those guys and says, this is going to be the team. I think he looks at those guys and says, the odds are in our favor that these players can make it and be good.
Well, when Scott got fired, everyone asked the question, does this mean Jerry's on his way out? Is Justin on his way out? No. We sign them up. I don't know how you even want to put that.
Contract extension. I mean, it's a contract
We extended their
extension.
contract another year, I believe. I don't know if
is
they
there
signed
any
another
details?
3-year contract.
Because
that's the thing. I don't know.
Even the last contract, there's no details on how long it was. It was
Right.
literally all the news. I try to look
what
back.
they
It's
have
just
said.
indefinite.
What they have said is that they're coming back next year.
Right.
I hate that.
I understand that, but what I want to know with that is, do you think Jerry, like we've talked about this before, how he has set it up to where no matter what happens, he goes, well, I built this system, so like even if something doesn't pan out, I have the next guy up. How many revolutions does that have to go through before we're like, bro, you're done?
I was hoping this would be the last revolution.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because of the 3-year increments that we've extended them in, I knew this was the 9th year, and it's kind of the end of another 3-year cycle. But DePoto has made a move up from not just the GM, but to president of baseball operations. He's grown in the company, and now Hollander is the GM. And like, it seems like they are in step with the ownership, and they don't care what budget they give because they're just going to do whatever job with whatever they're given and do the best that they can. And
all right, I got a thought.
And just make excuses.
This is way, way off. We're going to get back to talking about baseball in a second.
Yeah, we'll get to.
But I wonder if Justin Hollander has set himself up to be like, I will not talk to the media because I saw what Jerry did and how he digs a hole and how he does not need to be the face of the operation. We have people who can go talk to the media. Whenever Jerry does it, he botches it and he looks bad. Well, I wonder, since right now, no one is being like, Justin Hollander, why did you do that? It's because we don't hear from him.
Damn, that is a really good point.
Every time we say DePoto, I try to remember to bring up that Hollander is involved too. I try to say DePoto and Hollander because he is part of this.
Yeah, he's the GM.
Yeah, because we always end up
and
saying
no one cares.
DePoto,
yeah, because
DePoto.
He's not talking. Like you said, that's actually such a good point.
He quietly just sits there and does the job.
He's like a better businessman than DePoto.
That's what I'm saying. It's a move.
They're doing the same stuff, but Justin's like, you know what? I'm actually not going to say anything, and I'll let DePoto take all the smoke.
I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit here and do exactly what Jerry did without all shut that shit down.
Very
After
nice.
Seeing it so many times, I think that DePoto's just okay with doing that. He's got to be talking to the ownership, right? Because Stanton never talks unless it's a set-up interview where he knows the questions beforehand and can just say his pre-rehearsed
I don't want to
fucking
hear him
answers. Yeah. So that's the thing is like DePoto's the guy that's going to take the arrows, and he knows that. I think that it's
and
well known. And he does.
He's taken
goes
plenty.
Out there, he says whatever he wants, puts his foot in his mouth, and takes the arrows, and then they move on doing exactly what they were doing before. There's no difference, except for that everyone trusts them a little bit less. So
did he hire Justin Hollander? I don't know.
I think he was
I
probably
think it was like
involved.
an ownership thing, like as a whole, but
They wanted Jerry too.
Yep.
He was probably
2.0,
involved.
V2.0.
Like, Jerry, we're promoting you, so you're involved in who we're going to hire as well. I'm sure he was involved in the hiring process.
Pick a guy who does exactly the same thing but shuts up.
Yeah.
Well, since we're circling the J's here with a little Justin and a little Jerry, let's circle this J back to
Pass the J.
Yep, to Julio
pass
again.
that J.
Since that mess up,
man.
he has been on an absolute tear.
Let's talk about the Rangers series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's close this out a little bit. The Rangers series, he has been on a tear. He now has something like 6 home runs in his last 8 games. He led off Saturday's game today. First pitch of the game, home run to opposite field, too. Down and away, muscles it out.
4 for 4.
Yeah, he's had
a great day.
Multiple hit games.
Great couple games.
Multiple RBIs, stolen bases. And it's just like, this is what we want to see. I mean, imagine a whole year of this. We would not be having the conversations we're having now if Julio has performed like he has since his
We're taking a 3 to 4 day sample.
Yeah.
And I bet we're going to hear this all over the internet, fucking Twitter or YouTube or whatever you look at. Is it, Julio's on fire? Yeah, he's on fire for 4 days.
Yes.
I mean, come on. I'm not taking the bait on this one. Not yet.
Okay.
Can I try to convince you a little bit?
No. Give me 6 more days of this.
Garrett, I'm going to give you 30 days of stats.
Okay.
And you tell me if they're good.
Okay.
Okay, let's work our way up because
Okay.
just
I'm down.
basic MLB stats.
Sure.
So on the season, he's 273, hitting 273. He's
like
got his
that.
average up.
I like that.
But that has also jumped up like 10 plus points just within the last 3 days.
I'll get there.
You're
Yeah.
saying on the season.
Yeah, I know, but it was like
But it's
4 days ago it was like
incrementally-
265.
Incrementally been going up. So
Right,
he's
right.
on a tear right now. And
Yes.
you're saying small sample size. He has
Very.
19 home runs.
I'm saying 4 days.
736 OPS. So last 7 games,
Oh, not bad. I like that.
which is a few more games than the few you're talking about, right? Let's start there. He's 424 average, 444 on base, and an 818 slugging. That's a 1.263 something slugging, 2.6 slugging, or 1.26
In the last week. Okay.
or OPS.
Yeah.
That's
really
pretty good.
fucking good.
Pretty
Yes.
good.
Last 15 games, let's add 8 more.
Okay.
Okay. So 70 at bats, 26 hits, 15 RBIs, 17 strikeouts to 4 walks. But that's to be expected.
Yeah, I knew it. No, I'm just, just kidding.
Dude swings the bat.
Yeah, he's not a walker.
He's hitting 371 with a 400 on base and a 671 slugging for 1.071 OPS.
Okay.
Very good.
15 games. Got it.
Yep. So let's add 15 more games.
30 games.
Let's double it.
Let's go.
126 at bats, 38 hits, 8 homers. Dude is hitting 302,
Okay.
366 on base.
Doesn't he have like 19 homers on the season?
Yeah, it does have 19.
And in the
Yes.
last 30, he's gotten 8 of them?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what you call heating up.
So since
Yes.
he's been back from his injury, the dude has been on a tear. It's not just the last few games. It's been a month of this. The dude is 366 on base and 532 slugging for over 900 OPS in the last month. That's what I'm talking about. We know what Julio's capable of. He did it last August. He had a historic August for any player ever, not just a Mariners player. And now he's doing it at the end of the season. After his injury, he's been heating up like crazy, and especially after he made this stupid-ass, boneheaded base running move, which he's made too many base running mistakes
Yes.
this season. We've talked about it multiple times, getting picked off at first in huge situations. He needs to get his mental game together.
Sure, you
Because
think these
we
guys
know what
don't go
he's
home at
capable
night
of.
and be like, it's all right. They're like, fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But he needs
I'd
to
like
be-
to hope so, at least.
I think they do. Always.
you
Even
got-
when they suck. Mitch Garver goes home every single day like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
But that's the thing.
Because he's
is
good.
You have to have mental fortitude. You have to keep things even though they're going badly. You have to know your potential and be able to fulfill it even if things are going badly. Like, it is a mental state
Sure.
where you forget those things and you're in the moment rather than in your own emotions and head. And I've competed a lot in many different things at high levels, and like, it's all a mental game. If you're too emotional, if you let your adrenaline get to you and don't take that breath or slow down and somehow or go through your processes to get you to your optimal mental state, you're not going to perform at your best. It's just the way it is for any person.
I do have one counterpoint to what you just said, and trust
And
me,
it's going to negate the last 30 days.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So yeah, you mentioned how he has been on a tear the last 30 days. You also mentioned last year his red hot August where he was insane. So now, are we? Is that just what we expect from Julio?
We
though?
get one good month of the
one.
year.
That's my point. Are we expecting 1 month of good Julio, a season, and it happens near the ass end of the season? I hope it's not the case.
It's the way it's been going.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, judging by those numbers, because yes, he's red hot right now, especially since he's been pretty much unable to get out since his big back pick at third fuck up. He has been on tear 4 for 4 games, 4 for 5 games, like.
I'm just upset because if we know he's capable of that late in the season, then where is he for 5 months?
That's what I'm saying.
Like it, and we talked about it and harped on it all the beginning of this season, where it's like, we can't have slow start Julio. This is not going to work. So there's something needs to change in the offseason, and I really think it's a really big mental thing for Julio Rodriguez. He's very young. I think Edgar Martinez has been in his ear. I think he helps him understand what pitchers are trying to do to beat him. He understands the chess game that's being played on the field. He's one of the best hitters. He hit 311 in his career. 345, 311, 400 on base, 500 slug. This dude is one of the best hitters in baseball history. I called for it earlier this year. I was like, where's Edgar? Where are the real hitters in the Ichiro, anybody that can talk to them about the mental game, not just how they swing, not just their timing, but what the pitcher's trying to do to them.
Maybe this is exactly why
And they can
Dan
speak
Wilson
Spanish.
is the perfect catalyst. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
In
actually
his
not a
original
terrible
language.
point at all.
It really isn't.
I didn't even think of that. But
yeah.
oh my God. No, I was just about to say a true catalyst. That's why we didn't go out and look for an experienced manager. We took someone who could do the job of translating all this gibberish into baseball player language.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I think that's huge. And not to mention it's
But Spanish is a great point.
No,
too.
it is.
Yeah.
It helps.
I've been thinking about it. I'm like, dude, they speak in Spanish. They don't have to worry about language barriers or understanding what someone's trying to say in certain terms, or like it's easy. It's easy for them. Second, that's what they do. They speak Spanish, and they talk about baseball in Spanish. Maybe it helps them be a better baseball player.
I don't like this. I don't like that you bring up good points and it gives me hope when there's no hope to be had.
There's hope.
We're
to
not
be
making
had.
the postseason.
Julio is a good baseball player. We just need to see it be more consistent.
So speaking of hope, going full circle, it's funny. The last 2 weeks, we have been talking about this Houston Astros series coming up, and
It's a big one.
It's been a roundabout way through of ups and downs and a lot of downs, but now let's go for the sweep tomorrow, the Rangers. If we don't get it, we still already won the series. It's been 2 weeks of us talking about this Houston series. It's finally going to happen. And I mean, we've wished it would be an easier road to this series, but literally this Houston Astros series is what is going to make or break our postseason chances. Because if we get swept in Houston, then the Oakland series doesn't even matter.
Yeah, we're not even in the wild card if we lose.
Are we going to
those
face
games.
Kikuchi?
I'm not sure, actually, but
That's huge.
that would be huge.
He's 8-0 as long as he's been an Astro.
Yes.
When the Blue Jays traded him to the Astros, he's done nothing but put
Win.
his team in an excellent position to win games.
Since you've looked that up, I'm gonna check that out. We face Hunter Brown on Monday, and on Tuesday we've got Framber Valdez. Our starters are not lined up yet, but Framber Valdez on Tuesday. That's not going to be fun. The lefty with a crazy curveball. Kikuchi on Tuesday. Is that Tuesday? Yeah, I think so. Wednesday we face Kikuchi.
So we will face Kikuchi.
It'll be tough to face those lefties, and Kikuchi is not a bad pitcher. He just he's been able to locate a lot better than he has since he left the Mariners. So I'm kind of scared. That dude throws 97, has a nasty slider. As much as we kind of hated on him towards the end of his tenure here with the Mariners, he's still out there dominating, and he can still throw the best of them. He hasn't been injured. He sleeps 14 hours a day apparently. The dude is always ready to play baseball. It seems like that's his life, and I'm scared to face Framber and Kikuchi, to be honest.
Well, we'll see.
We've done work against Framber.
We
in the
have.
past. It's not always,
But-
but it could go either
It
way.
happens, yeah.
And
It
again,
happens.
I mean,
He doesn't always have his best day.
Yeah, and this Houston series, we've been harping on it and harping on it. We've been prepared for it for weeks now. We knew how important this series was. It is finally going to happen. And when we do our potential final episode of the season, the Houston series will be over. We'll be in the middle of the Oakland series, which is the last regular season series. And
At home.
At home. I'll be at one of the games, at least one of the games. I already have tickets for one, but we'll see. But this is all tying in, just as we predicted. This Houston series matters so much.
But even if we sweep the Rangers, we get swept by Houston, and then we sweep Oakland, that's not enough, I think.
No, unless
it's
we
not.
get help from
and
other
that's why
teams.
it all ties in to what this Houston series entails. We have to take the series. We don't have to sweep. We're not in the position of if we don't sweep Houston, our season is done. But
Yeah, we're kind of close to that.
we're close, but we can take the series. We can take the series, and again, scoreboard watching, depending on what the Twins are
There's
doing.
that too.
Yeah, we need
There's-
help.
It's not all in our hands. We need
the Tigers
We're
to
relying
lose.
on a lot of things.
We need the Twins to lose. We need to beat the Astros. And
We need the Twins to lose
Oakland
twice
A's.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. Come on, Sox. Let's go.
Let's go, Red Sox.
So, we have all this tying in. We will be back next week for what's hopefully not the last episode of the season, but it depends how this Houston series goes. The Houston series we've been hyping up for so long.
Mariners are on a 3-game win streak. We're going to sweep the Rangers tomorrow.
Let's do it. And let's be back next week with hopefully nothing but good news for us and all you fans. Thank you so much for being a part of this and listening. We covered a lot of topics this episode, but we had a lot to say. Thank you all so much, and we'll be back next week. And go Mariners!